am told that they are receiving presents of enormous value from all sorts and conditions of people. From royalty to the poor devils of workmen he still underpays, just because Kilbenham is a marquis and she is the daughter of a millionaire. Why, I can tell you it is enough to make anyone cynical." "In the main, I agree with you," said Carne. "But as life is made up of just such contradictions, it seems to me absurd to butt your head against a stone wall and then grumble because it hurts and you don't make any impression on it. Do you think the presents are as wonderful as they say? I want to know because I've not given mine yet. In these days one gives as others give. If they have not received anything very good, then a pair of electroplated entree dishes will meet the case. If the reverse, well, diamonds perhaps, or an old master that the Americans are wild to buy and can't." "Who is cynical now, I should like to know?" said Kelmare. "I was told this morning that up to the present, with the superb diamonds given by the bride's father, they have totalled a value of something like £20,000. "You surprise me," answered Carne. "I'm surprised myself," said Kelmare as he got up to go. "Now I must be off. I came in to see if you felt inclined for a week's cruise in the Channel. Burgrave has lent me his yacht, and somehow I think a change of air will do me good." "I'm very sorry," said Carne, "but it would be quite impossible for me to get away just now. I have several important functions on hand that will keep me in town. I suppose this wedding is one of them." "To tell the honest truth, I had scarcely thought of it," replied Carne. "Must you be off? Well then, good-bye, and a pleasant holiday to you." When Kelmare had disappeared, Carne went back to his study and seated himself at his writing table. "Kelmare is a little oversensitive," he said, "and his pique is spoiling his judgment. He does not seem to realise that he has come very well out of a jolly bad business. I'm not certain which I pity most, Miss Greenthorpe, who is a heartless little hussy, or the Marquis of Kilbenham, who is a thorough-paced scoundrel. The wedding, however, promises to be a fashionable one, and—" He stopped midway, rose, and stood leaning against the mantelpiece, staring into the empty fireplace. Presently he flipped the ash off his cigar and turned around. "It never struck me in that light before," he said, as he pressed the button of the electric bell in the wall behind him. When it was answered, he ordered his carriage, and a quarter of an hour later was rolling down Regent Street. Reaching a well-known jeweller's shop, he pulled the check-string, and the door having been opened, descended and went inside. It was not the first time he had had dealings with the firm, and as soon as he was recognised, the proprietor hastened forward himself to wait upon him. "I want a nice wedding present for a young lady," he said, when the other had asked what he could have the pleasure of showing him. "Diamonds, I think, for preference." A tray containing hairpins, brooches, rings and aigrettes set with stones was put before him, but Carne was not satisfied. He wanted something better, he said, something a little more imposing. When he left the shop a quarter of an hour later, he had chosen a diamond bracelet, for which he had paid the sum of £1,000. In consequence, the jeweller bowed him to his carriage with almost oriental obsequiousness. As Carne rolled down the street, he took the bracelet from its case and glanced at it. He had long since made up his mind as to his line of action, and having done so, was now prepared to start business without delay. On leaving the shop, he had ordered his coachman to drive home, but on second thoughts he changed his mind, and once more pulling the check-string, substituted Berkeley Square for Park Lane. "I must be thoroughly convinced in my own mind," he said, "before I do anything, and the only way to do that will be to see old Greenthorpe himself without delay. I think I have a good and sufficient excuse in my pocket. At any rate, I'll try it." On reaching the residence in question, he instructed his footman to inquire whether Mr. Greenthorpe was at home, and if so, if he would see him. An answer in the affirmative was soon forthcoming, and a moment later, Carne and Greenthorpe were greeting each other in the library. "Delighted to see you, my dear sir," the latter said as he shook his guest warmly by the hand, at the same time hoping that old Sir Mowbray next door, who was a gentleman of the old school, and looked down on the plutocracy.